Welcome to AFMY channel. For today's video, I will show to you the top 10 dangerous countries in the world in 2021. But before that, if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Every year, the Institute of Economics and Peace releases its Global Peace Index report. This report is the only one of its kind that measures how dangerous or safe a nation is based on 23 different indicators, including political terror, deaths from internal conflicts, and murder rate. The Global Peace Index report evaluates 163 countries with account for over 99% of the world's total population. The factors analyzed in the report are grouped into three different areas. Number 1, the safety and security. Number 2, the ongoing conflict. Number 3, the militarization. Top 10. Russia. Russia is the 10th most dangerous country in the world. Russia's high militarization contributes to its position on the list, along with having one of the highest per capita rates of weapons exports. Russia, unlike the other countries on this list, has a Level 2 travel advisory from the U.S. Department of State to exercise increased caution when visiting. Russia is susceptible to transnational and local terrorist groups and individuals inspired by extremist ideologies. Russian officials have also arbitrarily detained U.S. citizens who may become victims of harassment or extortion. Top 9. Central African Republic. The Central African Republic is the 9th most dangerous country in the world. Despite a peace agreement signed in 2017, chaos in the country has continued to grow and spread. The main source of unrest in the Central African Republic is the clash between the Seleka rebels and the anti-Balaka militia. The conflict has displaced 620,000 people internally and created 570,000 refugees living to neighboring countries. Kidnappings are widespread, as are reports of violence, looting, and human rights abuses across the country. Top 8. Democratic Republic of the Congo. The 8th most dangerous country in the world is the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Democratic Republic of Congo is fraught with political instability, armed clashes, and human rights violations. Conflict erupted in 2016 in the Kasai region, which includes 5 provinces in the center of the country. It is yet another instance of fighting between the military and the splintered ethnic militias. Demonstrations are common in cities around the country and often turn violent. Violent crimes are common as well, such as armed home invasion, robberies, and assault, and police lack the resources to effectively respond to crime. Top 7. Libya. Libya is the 7th most dangerous country in the world. Libya has experienced high levels of crime, civil unrest, kidnapping, armed conflict, and terrorism. The violence in Libya is mostly caused by militias that continue to clash with one another over territory and resources. ISIS has carried out several attacks that killed both civilians and security force members. The capital, Tripoli, and other large cities have been frequent locations of fighting among militias and terrorist attacks. Top 6. Somalia. Somalia is the 6th most dangerous country in the world. Somalia has high kidnapping risk in all parts of the country. Terror attacks are likely at Mogadishu International Airport, government buildings, hotels, and restaurants. Foreigners, government officials, and UN workers are significant targets of these attacks. Somalia's droughts and food shortages have compounded the already unstable environment, and security and effective police forces are absent. Top 5. Yemen. The 5th most dangerous country in the world is Yemen. Yemeni civil war began in 2015 between the two factions, the Abdurrahman Mansour Hadi-led government and the Houthi armed movement. Yemen has the world's worst humanitarian crisis, according to the United Nations, where 4 years of ongoing conflict had resulted in 4.3 million people leaving their homes and 14 million people at risk of starvation and outbreaks of deadly diseases. About 80% of the Yemen population, more than 24 million people, is desperate need of humanitarian assistance. Top 4. South Sudan. South Sudan is the fourth most dangerous country in the world. South Sudan has ongoing conflict, civil unrest, and widespread violent crime, including robberies, assaults, carjacking, and kidnappings. Armed conflict exists mostly between the government and opposition groups. Additionally, South Sudan is a high risk for climate disasters. Top 3. Iraq. Iraq is the third most dangerous country in the world. Iraq continues to have both internal and external conflicts, including likely terrorist attacks. ISIS continue to capture and kill civilians and Iraqi armed forces. Other human rights violations, including violations of freedom of assembly and women's rights, have persisted. U.S. citizens visiting Iraq at a particularly high risk for violence and kidnapping and are a target of anti-U.S. sectarian militias throughout Iraq. Top 2. Syria. Syria is the second most dangerous country in the world. Syria only recently was put in second by Afghanistan. The Syrian civil war has plagued the country since March 2011 and has been the second deadliest war of the 21st century. An estimated 470,000 people, including 55,000 children, have been killed in the Syrian conflict. High levels of violence have been persistent throughout Syria, including the use of small arms, tanks, chemical weapons, artillery, and aircraft. Top 1. Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the most dangerous country in the world. According to the United Nations peacekeeping mission in Afghanistan, the country experienced 3,804 civilian deaths in conflict, 927 of whom are children. Afghanistan experiences deadly attacks from the Taliban across the country, and the U.S. is now in its 19th year of war in Afghanistan. Afghanistan has the highest number of deaths from war and terrorism than any other country in the world.